The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful review, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at a Transformers action figure of a character that, when it was first announced, a lot of fans were excited to finally get a modern day generation style action figure of this character, but when the action figure itself finally got released and collectors started to actually transform it around, they discovered it wasn't as impressive as they had hoped it would have been, and the general attitude since this figure's release has been that it's a somewhat mediocre Transformers character. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest either, and that's not only from the standards that a lot of fans and collectors put out for what they expect, the quality they expect Transformers action figures to be, but the action figure itself for this particular character was one that a lot of fans felt there were some parts that weren't quite as top-notch as Hasbro could have done it. But without further delay, as the title of the video has already revealed, today let's take a look at Transformers Legacy United Voyager Class Beast Wars Silverbolt. So yes, like most characters from the Beast Wars line, Silverbolt shares his name with a Generation 1 character, but Beast Wars Silverbolt and Generation 1 Silverbolt are all just like G1 Galvatron and G1 Megatron and Beast Wars Megatron, just like they are completely separate characters who just happen to share the same name. It's the same case with Beast Wars and G1 Silverbolt. I apologize for not bringing out any action figures to do a size comparison with Silverbolt. He's a pretty average-sized Voyager class action figure, and this is the only action figure of Beast Wars Silverbolt that I have in my Transformers collection. I do enjoy the paint job, especially on his head sculpt there inside the box. I believe those that mixture of fur and feathered color pattern on his head is accurate to his appearance in the Beast Wars cartoon. So Silverbolt is one of two characters who appeared in the Transformers Beast Wars cartoon. Actually, no, I take it back. There were three of them that appeared in the Beast Wars cartoon that was known as a Fuzor. And the Fuzors were Maximals and Predacons, who, when they were activated and came online from inside the stasis pods that had the Transformer protoforms inside, instead of the DNA of one one species of beast, there were two DNAs that accidentally got mixed together and were fused, hence the title Fuzors. And so they were a mashup of two different animal species wrapped into one. For Silverbolt, he has the DNA of both, I believe the type of bird he's supposed to be is a hawk, or it could be an eagle, and also a wolf. So he's basically a half hawk, half wolf monster. And that's the thing with the Fuzors, they were monstrous creatures since they were mashups of two different animal species. There were quite a few Fuzors that were released in the Beast Wars line. Silverbolt was one of at least four regular-sized Fuzors released in the Beast Wars line of action figures, but only two of them originally appeared in the Beast Wars cartoon. The third, which was also given an action figure in the Legacy United line, which I'm lifting my camera up, and as you can see, it's right back there, was Tigerhawk, who was given a leader class figure in Wave 1 of Legacy United. I did Silverbolt. I believe he was released in either Wave 1 or Wave 2. He was released in Wave 2 of the Legacy United line. And he was one of two Fuzors that appeared in the same episode. The other was Quick Strike, who was a mashup of both Scorpion and Cobra DNA. The two of them were both found by Beast Wars Megatron and the Predacons first, and Silverbolt didn't like the way Beast Wars Megatron spoke, and after fighting with the Maximals, Silverbolt realized he was more of a hero than a villain, and so he declared to Beast Wars Megatron he was not a Predacon, but was, in fact, a Maximal. And so Silverbolt remained a main character of the Beast Wars cartoon, fighting with the other Maximals throughout the rest of the Beast Wars series. And he was such a great character, he appeared in the terrible sequel series Beast Machines. And what made Silverbolt somewhat of a popular character, but also a long-lasting character, not just a one-time or brief time Transformers character, is that he ended up developing a crush on the female Predacon Black Arachnia, and the romantic feelings were mutual. Black Arachnia slowly developed a crush on Silverbolt as well. By the end of the Beast Wars cartoon, thanks in no small part to Silverbolt making Black Arachnia fall in love with him. That's what made Black Arachnia turn against the Predacons and decide to join the Maximals. At the end of Transformers Beast Wars. Or so. I apologize for not having my Kingdom Black Arachnia figure out and ready to do a size comparison with Silverbolt. But it's late at night and I wanted to make this a quick review, so here's Silverbolt inside his box. There's the box art of his Fuzor beast mode, half eagle, half wolf. Pretty monstrous looking creature there. There's a close-up of his face sculpt, and zooming out, there's his robot mode. He's armed up and preparing for battle. I can't remember if his original Beast Wars action figure came with the 2 swords that the new Legacy United figure comes with, but I love how here on the box art the fur is fleshed out, looking out, and even the feathers, so it's actual fur and feathers that Silverbolt has covering him. So it's pretty nice that they were able to get that detailing of the parts of Silverbolt that are organic and the parts that are mechanical. Here on the back of the box, you've got like the product photos. There's his beast mode, and his robot mode. He transforms back and forth between both modes in 27 steps. Legacy United, current year 2024, is 40th anniversary of the Transformers. And that's what the Legacy United line is all about. And so Silverbolt, he's one of the characters that doesn't appear on the poster image for the Legacy United line, but Tigerhawk is one. And the similarities between Silverbolt and Tigerhawk are actually quite prominent. There aren't actually too many differences between Silverbolt and Tigerhawk back there, since they're both the 2 animal DNAs that they're fused with are a predatory mammal and a bird of prey. The main difference being that, unlike Silverbolt, who's a mixture of a wolf and an eagle, Tigerhawk, as his name implies, he's a mixture of both a hawk and tiger DNA, but not much of a difference between the 2 characters. At least I personally think there isn't much of a difference. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with how Silverbolt came out. Some of the minor nitpicks, I'll say them off right now. When he transforms into beast mode, the tail of his beast mode, its tail feathers for the eagle mode, they're actually really short, and here on the box art for Silverbolt, it looks like the tail feathers are long enough that they stick out behind the rest of him, but they actually don't. They're really small, all in short. Another issue is that some of the joints on him in robot mode, they aren't that great, especially how he transforms, so that's just the majority opinion of most Transformers fans and collectors. But like most Transformers action figures and characters, I'm blinded by nostalgia for the Beast Wars cartoon and the fact that this has become the first and only action figure of Silverbolt, so I'll sound a lot more forgiving in my review, hopefully, compared to other collectors. But without further delay, let's get Silverbolt out of his box and take a close look at him in robot mode. Alright, and so here is Silverbolt out of the box and transformed into his robot mode. And I gotta say, for what it is, trying to go for accuracy to Silverbolt's appearance in the Beast Wars cartoon, I think the designers at Hasbro and Takara did a fairly decent job of making Silverbolt accurate to his animation model. Here on his upper arms, some of the detailing is fur from the wolf mode. Same thing here on the front of his chest. That's wolf fur, and then of course on his back, along with the eagle wings, there's feathers here from the eagle mode, and then there's the tail feathers that a lot of fans have been grumbling about. There is a third-party upgrade kit that's been released. I can't remember if it was released by DNA Design or which third-party company developed it, but there is a upgrade kit where you can get a longer set of tail feathers for Silverbolt, and then there's a hinge joint in the middle, so when he's in robot mode you can just hinge it up, and then the tail feathers will flip out and make it a shorter extension for when he's in robot mode. But yeah, overall, despite his mostly dull gray paint job, I'm really thrilled with how Silverbolt came out, and I personally think that he's a pretty fantastic looking Transformers figure. Some Transformers fans and collectors have gone so far as to say that some of his joints, the way he transforms, it's not the greatest. latest, and someone even pointed out that this hinge joint right here in Silverbolt's chest, it allows the front of the chest to rotate upward when you're halfway transforming him, but it's incorrect angle for when you transform him back and forth between robot mode and beast mode, so that joint was just done there for the sake of being accurate to how the joint on his original Beast Wars action figure was. The transformation on the new figure is a lot more intricate than the original Beast Wars Silverbolt action figure, and so someone pointed out that the hinge joint here on his chest was designed for nostalgia for the original action figure's design, and so it's just ornamental. It doesn't actually help with the transformation, so in that regard, I can kind of see why some their Transformers fans have complained more about Silverbolt than accepting him. Another thing is that the wings, there's no like joint here to make the wings longer. The only way you can, the only real articulation on the wings is the outer wing feathers being able to move up and down. Now, I think there is a third-party upgrade kit that also gives you newly designed wings that allow for more wing articulation for Silverbolt, but overall, for what the action figure does, as again, I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I think it's a pretty decent Transformers action figure. For articulation, Silverbolt's head is technically on a ball joint. He can only look upward and downward a tiny fraction of an inch. He can spin. He has the potential to spin 360 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise, but I'm not going to do it because fresh out of the box it feels tight. Some joints, such as the joints on the wings, as you can see here, they're really loose, while other joints, such as his neck joint, are super tight. So it's not really a fun experience when a Transformers figure out of the box, half the joints are loose, while the other half are so tight you feel you're going to break it. The arms have the potential to spin 360 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise, but you do have to move the wings out of the way to get them to move backwards. There is there is a swivel joint in the bicep, but because the upper part of the arm at the shoulder is really small to incorporate the beast mode legs, the bicep swivel is rendered kind of useless. Hinge joint. It's supposed to be a double hinge joint at the elbow, but the upper hinge joint is actually for the beast mode leg, so it's actually just a single hinge joint. Swivel joints in the wrists. I believe Silverbolt does not have he does have waist articulation, but you have to move his tail feathers out of the way to get it to spin around. Universal joints at the hips, so legs can go forward and backward if you can get them past all the kibble. They can go outward that far. Swivel joint in the thigh. Hinge knees, but out of the box they're really tight. And for foot articulation, the foot can go up and down at the ankle, but that's mainly due to transformation. And there's ankle rockers. They aren't swivels, they're ivels, but ivels are actually, they are swivels, but they're really tight, so you proceed with caution when doing that. Overall, Silverbolt, to me personally, I can forgive whatever flaws he has because I'm just excited to have a modern day action figure of him in my Transformers collection. And again, I apologize for not having any action figures out to do size comparisons with Silverbolt. He's a pretty average sized Voyager class Transformers figure. And hopefully someday we'll get a modern day action figure of Quick Strike to stand opposite him. But for now, I'm just really thrilled to finally have a Beast Wars Silverbolt figure in my Transformers collection. So without further delay, let's get Silverbolt transformed into his beast mode and we will wrap up the review. Alright, and so here is Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt, transformed into his beast mode of a half wolf, half eagle, Fuzor, and with the wings fully spread out, he is quite an impressive beast, at least from certain angles. The front legs are the eagles, while the back legs are the wolf paws. So that's pretty interesting looking there. So if you wanted to, you could have Beast Wars Silverbolt swoop down and attacking unexpected Predacons from above. So that's a pretty nice thing. Nice design there. That's how far the beast mode head jaw can open up. And this is a minor nitpick I've seen other collectors have, is on this side of the beast mode head, it looks perfectly fine, but when you turn the figure to the other side of the beast mode head, if you look right there, the one side of the lower jaw, the plastic was hollowed out, so it looks like Silverbolt has a someone took a chunk out of Silverbolt. And there's a gap right there. It's just a little rectangular slot, and in my opinion, it was an unnecessary part of hollowed out plastic that just hinders Silverbolt's appearance. The wings themselves, they can flap up and down like this, so you get a full range of motion with the wings. And if you want to get Silverbolt into a more static position, you can just fold the wings. Like this, if you want it to look like Silverbolt's just sitting on the ground, you can fold the wings down like that. His two swords that he had in robot mode, they end up forming the front wing feathers. I saw some reviews where some collectors had trouble attaching them on. Out of the box, my copy of the there, holding on fairly well. But as you can see, I just accidentally popped off one of the wings. That's another gripe that collectors have been having, is that the wings pop off too easily. There are upgrade kits if you want to give Silverbolt some wings that have slightly more articulation and aren't prone to falling off so easily, but yeah, overall I really enjoy the design of them. So I'll just display the wings like that for now. But coming around here to the back, this is where a lot of the griping and complaining collectors have been having with Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt has been, and why they say the tail feathers are too short. Alright, as you can see, the tail feathers don't even go all the way back to Silverbolt's backside, which is why there's third-party upgrade kits out there that have longer tail feathers for Silverbolt to use. But yeah, the tail feathers are just super short. But another thing that hinders the beast mode, even though it's a Fuzor, it's half wolf, half eagle. Unfortunately, there's no real place for Silverbolt's robot mode hands to hide, so they just end up sticking up here off the back of the beast mode legs. So in that regard, even though he's a Fuzor, Silverbolt does fail to completely be a robot in disguise, since his robot mode hands are visible. For articulation, the front legs can move up and down. So if you wanted to, you could have Silverbolt running. The feet move up and down as well, and of course the jaw opens and closes. Most of the articulation is in the wings. So you can at least make it look like Silverbolt is able to fly around if you want. The back legs, they do kind of sort of move, but it's hindered by the double hinge that connects it to the robot mode hands and arms. So yeah, overall, I can see why collectors and fans have been saying that Silverbolt's not the greatest Transformers action figure, but it's the only modern day action figure of Silverbolt that's been released, so I can't nitpick about Silverbolt too much. I just really enjoy how he came out. And despite the hollowed slot there on the lower jaw on that side of the beast mode head, at least it's not on both sides. And I just love the yellow used on Silverbolt's eyes, along with the black fur from the wolf head. And I just really enjoy it. So despite being mostly the dull gray color that a lot of Transformers fans and collectors have found to be visually uninteresting to look at, I think Silverbolt is able to pull it off fairly decently, especially with the gold and black highlights that he has on the wings, the front legs, and the beast mode head. And he does have a 3mm flight stand port, so if you wanted to, you could display Silverbolt flying through the air if you wanted to. The legs are pegged into place on some small tabs, but if you wanted to, you could open them up and up and make it again look like Silverbolt's ready to attack the Predacons head on and take the fight to them. So yeah, there's a flight attack mode for Silverbolt right there with the legs sprawled out. So yeah, despite his flaws, I think Silverbolt is a pretty fantastic Transformers action figure overall. So for the final proverbial question, do I recommend getting the Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt and adding him to your Transformers collection? I absolutely do. Despite his flaws such as the tiny tail feathers, and the Robomode hands sticking off the back of his beast mode, I am just really thrilled with how well Silverbolt turned out. I'm thrilled to how accurate he is to his appearance in the Beast Wars cartoon, and overall, despite the critics' gripes with the action figure itself, I personally cannot recommend enough getting Legacy United Beast Wars Silverbolt and adding him to your Transformers collection. He was released in Wave 2 of the Legacy United line, and he shelf-warmed for a while when he was out on the shelves of retail stores, so Silverbolt, he might be a little hard to find right now since he was a figure that didn't quite sell as well as other figures in the Legacy United line, but overall, I'm just really thrilled with how able to finally have an action figure of him in my collection. I apologize for not doing any size comparisons, but I think Silverbolt's a decent enough action figure that he doesn't need to be compared to other Transformers action figures, even though I know that's just me spitballing my laziness and not finding any action figures to do size comparisons with. So, thank you to all my subscribers and all my friends for your continued support. This has been the TFN Geek, and this has been my look at quite possibly one of the more mediocre action figures to be released in the Transformers Legacy United line, Voyager class Beast Wars Silverbolt. But for me personally, I don't think he's mediocre. I think he's one of the must-have figures of the Legacy United line. Thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, Transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.